In this video, I am going to teach you about variables. We use variables to store values. When we are storing a value in a variable, there are three parts. First, name of the variable, then the equal sign or assignment operator, then the value. In Python, there are two rules for naming variables. First, we can use only numbers, letters, and underscores in a variable name. We cannot use spaces or special characters in a variable name. Let us try some examples. I am creating a variable called my variable $i equals to 5. Now you can see it gives a syntax error because it contains a special character $i. Now I will remove the $sign. Now we can create the variable. Again I am creating another variable called my space variable. Again it gives an error because we cannot keep spaces in the variable name. I can add the underscore instead of spaces. Now I can run the program without errors. The second rule is we cannot add numbers at the beginning of variable. Let us try some example. I am creating a variable called to my variable. Now you can see again it gives an error because we cannot use numbers in front of the variable. Instead, we can use numbers at the end or middle in the variable. Now I can run the program without any errors. Now let us talk about data types. There are four main data types in Python. They are string, integers, floats, and booleans. To assign a string value to a variable, we have to use double quotation or single quotation marks. I am creating a variable x equals within double quotation marks 30. Now I will type print type x. Now you can see the data type is string. Now I will remove this quotation marks. Now this value is stored as an integer value. You can see the data type is integer. Integers are basically numbers without decimals. Now let us convert this into a float by adding a decimal place. Now you can see data type is float. The last main data type is booleans. It contains either true or false values. I am giving value true. Remember the T is capital in Python. Now you can see the data type is boolean. Again we can assign false value also. Remember first letter is capital in boolean data types. Now let us see about interconversion between data types. We can use int function for converting a value into integer data type. So let us try converting string values into integer values. I am typing 432 in string data type. Now you can see the data type is integer. Again I am typing print x. Now you can see the value of x. It is 432 in integer value. Now let us try converting a float value. Now you can see the data type is integer. Now let us add multiple decimal values. You can see all the decimal values are ignored. Now let us try converting a value into float value. For that I am using float function. Within the parentheses, I have to give the value. Now you can see the data type is float. All the decimal places are preserved. Now I am giving an integer value by removing decimal places. Now you can see the data type is float and the value is 543.0. Now I am giving a string value. Now you can see data type is float. Now let us use str function to convert the value into a string value. Now you can see data type is str and value is 543. It is not an integer, it is a string value. Now I am giving a float value. You can see data type is str. Now I am giving integer value. Now again you can see data type is str. Finally, in this variable lesson, we have to learn assignment of multiple values into variables simultaneously. I am going to create three variables called a, b and c, then assign values 1, 2 and 3 into these variables simultaneously. For that, syntax is a, comma, b, comma, c equals 1, 2 and 3. This will assign 1 into the a, 2 into the b and 3 into the c. Let us print the values. Now you can see three values are assigned simultaneously.